Hi, welcome back to this week's episode. This week we're going to be talking about at-home grooming, washing your dog, brushes, and how to get out mats. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about your dog's paws.
With at-home grooming, this is where I really like to set your dog up for success. And we're gonna start to do the at-home grooming as soon as you get your pup home. The sooner you start, the younger they are, the easier and more prepared that they're going to be going forward in their life. It's gonna make trips in the car easier. It's gonna make seeing the vet for necessary appointments and also for those nail trims. This is also a pain point that a lot of owners have, and we get to witness this right in our shop as well. So when you are starting with your young pup, I recommend beginning with gentle touch, just so that their body can become accustomed to long strokes down from the base of the head, down the tail, long strokes down all the way down to the paw, holding on to it. If they start to resist and such, you're just going to hold on for a moment with gentle touch, and then you're going to release. Those kinds of actions with a young pup are so much easier to accomplish and to make them accustomed to when you're going to have to take them to a groomer or when you have to bring them into a shop like us where you need help with your nail trim. Another good way of making them desensitized to certain things is holding on to their bodies when they're younger, and you can actually lean forward so that they can feel their body tipping and coming back up, and then that way their body learns that they can recover. So especially when you have to pick your pup up and you're going to be placing them in a car, if they're too small or if you don't have a ramp, it's going to make those kind of loading and unloading kind of situations a lot easier. At-home grooming, this is where you're going to start brushing your pet. So getting them used to being combed or brushed through, especially dependent on what type of coat that they have. You're going to want necessary brushes for that. And then especially for nails, you're going to want to have nail trimmers around. I like to leave them out in the open so that my dog can inspect them. That way they're not spooked and scared all at the first sight of it when you just bring them in for a nail trim kind of a thing. If you're not comfortable with nail trims, I do recommend getting your puppy in to see somebody who is a professional. You can call a groomer and set up an appointment for a puppy to be accustomed to it. I know there's wonderful places in the area that do provide a puppy service. That way they can do it if you're not comfortable. But also you can come into our shop where we have done it so many times, and we're going to help you get through it or help to teach you how to do that. With nails, another thing that you're going to do with that nail trimmer, we're going to be bringing it close to their paws. We're not going to be just making that clipping yet. We just want to be sure that we can touch their paw with it. I do it where I've tapped their nails so they understand that they can have a feeling of something on it. Another thing that some people do for Dremel nail trimming at home is just making that vibration noise, offering a treat, and then that way they kind of get into that motion of, I can hear that noise, but that means that something good is coming. I like to leave a very good, a positive association with that. Another part of grooming, you want to make sure that you are checking your dog's eyes. We're looking for clarity. If they end up having little things that are in the corners of their eyes, those are necessary things that you do have to be able to wipe away, and you want them to know that this is something that you're doing for caring. You can do it with a simple face cloth. I like to dampen mine and wipe away whatever kind of stuff that you can see around it, and this is something that you will see mostly with breeds that have lighter colored coats. When their eye stuff comes to come around underneath their eye, and if it hasn't been cleaned up or wiped away in a timely fashion over time, that's where you start to see it starts to turn brown or reddish kind of coloring. That kind of residue underneath their eyes, we don't want to leave that there. We want to make sure that we can clean that away, and you can do this simply, like I said, just with a regular face cloth, just dampen with a little bit of water to clear away. Or I also use wipes at times. So there are tear stain appropriate products that you can actually use that's in a disposable wipe. Great for when you're in a pinch or when you're on the go. Another thing too that we like to look at other than their eyes is their ears. Ears are going to be definitely something you need to watch out for, dependent on breed specific as well. If you have a dog that has the longer hanging ears, if you do not check into them and we're not cleaning them in time, we're going to end up with ear issues. And that's usually when they've got a lot of wax either that's showing there, you can see dirt at times, and then also you want to make sure that you have ear wash.
Yeah, and with that ear wash, the best thing to do is have your dog lay down on your lap, head down, flip that ear open, just put a few drops in there, and just give it a really good swish around. Repeat to the other side, and make sure you allow your dog to stand up and shake that out. All right, so the next thing is talking about washing and bathing your dog. Having the proper tools to do this, to make it easier on yourself. The very first thing is I introduce my dogs to the tub without even water being added to it. And it's just basically putting them in the tub, treat, take them out. Put them in the tub, treat, take them out. Positive association is going to make it a whole lot easier when you turn the water on. So the other thing is having the proper shampoo for your dog's fur type. There's many out there, and if you're confused, we can definitely help you out with that. We can even add some to our comments below, and so that way you guys will have an idea of what to get for what kind of coat. The next thing is I always have a brush of some sort in the tub, so I can brush that shampoo right down to the skin, especially for those dogs who are double coated. A lot of them are the coats are water resistant, so you need to brush that water right in so you can wet them right to the skin and then shampoo them. The next thing I would definitely suggest, again, is having a really good towel to dry them off. That way, when you leave the room or wherever you are, if they're on the hardwood or tile, they're not slipping and sliding, so drying those feet and everything else. Again, drying your dog completely is really important because we don't want hot spots. The other thing I would suggest is brushing your dog out before you get them into the tub. Making sure there's no mats, because if you wash them beforehand, those mats will just get tighter. So it makes it a little harder to get them out later on.
Yeah, something that I do, because my guys are quite large and my husband, like others, don't want dog hair down the drain. So we wash our dogs outside. Saying that no dog's going to want a cold hose, so we actually plumbed that we have hot water outside. So we can have a nice spot for my 80-pound dogs. They're outside. They get a solid wash. Let them shake outside. But then I also have them used to the blow dryer outside. Double-coated dogs, I blow out their coats twice a year, and they are happy. Making sure you're getting all the way down. Just towel drying a double-coated dog sometimes isn't enough. You're not getting right down to their skin.
Yep. Yeah. Even for smooth coat dogs. Even for washing a smooth coat dog, both of mine are smooth coated. I still use, I have a curry brush, and I use my curry brush in the bath with them to make sure that that coat and the oils and everything is getting distributed appropriately. And then I also use the curry brush when I'm drying them.
Yes. I have a long coated dog, an Aussie, and I use more than one brush, but I do use the blowout with her. I just stand her on the grooming table and blow her out to make sure she's nice and dry, so I don't have to worry about dealing with a hot spot later on. We did touch on it a little bit about playing with the feet and that sort of thing, but there is some grooming measures that we should take with feet besides the nails, and that's trimming the hair between the pads. If you have hardwood floors, they will slip. And the other thing too is in the wintertime, snowballs will build up in there. We do have product to help with that, but if keeping the fur trimmed nice and close to the pad will actually help keep those snowballs from building.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in today for this episode. Hopefully this covers a bunch of grooming questions that you may have had. If there's something that we didn't, drop a comment below and we can dive into that in another episode. Make sure that you do like, subscribe. You can drop a comment below to let us know that you're here. And don't forget to share our video because you never know, one of your friends or somebody in your family may need a hand with their grooming tips for their new dog or for their older pet. And we would love if you could share that with them as well. And I guess we will see you in the next video.